It is a blast, and if you haven't been, you're missing out.
True.
I can't believe we went so long without using WorkSmart. It's allowed them to focus on their business. I'm sorry, guys. I am that person that sometimes calls you as a cold call trying to set up a meeting.
Welcome back to Small Business Never Sleeps. My name is John Slusser, co-founder of the Indiana Small Business Association and co-host of Small Business Never Sleeps. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Small Business Never Sleeps. And in today's episode, we're excited to sit down with ISBA co-founder and Small Business Never Sleeps co-host Nathan Maude.
Hey, it's nice being at this side of the table.
Yeah, you're in the hot seat today. But I can't do it by myself. So helping us out with our conversation today, we have an old guest back on the show. Give it up for David Richardt from BGBC.
Hey, David.
Hey guys. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I must have done something right the first time around to be invited back. It's like the understudy of a Broadway play.
There you go.
Yeah, or it just came down to that we didn't have anybody else, so
Yeah.
you were down the street.
Story of my life.
But we appreciate it. Well, hey, Small Business Never Sleeps is geared specifically for a small business owner and those who represent small business. Nathan, David, thanks for joining us today. You guys ready to dive in?
Absolutely.
Sweet. So Nathan, you and I have been close friends for several years. We've networked, we've golfed, we've spent profuse amounts of time together, and I pretty much know everything about this dude. But for those who are listening that don't know who you are, share with a little bit about yourself with our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So those who don't know, John Slusser has never beat me in a game of golf. But
Is it true?
That's not true.
It's true. All jokes aside, born and raised in Carmel, Indiana, went throughout the Carmel school system, got my undergraduate degree from Ball State, chirp.
Sure.
And just growing up, trying to pay for college, things like that, started my own lawn care company. Loved that aspect of being able to help people, but also make money as you're doing so. So to me, it was a win-win. So that's when I took my talents to Ball State. They have a sales program there. So I said, you know what? I like helping people. I like being rewarded for those services. So that's when I went to Ball State, got my degree in professional selling. And we've worked for a couple local payroll companies as well as HR companies, and finally have landed at WorkSmart.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited to hear more about it. I know you, but probably not as much as John Slusser. So just wanted to kind of go through your points, right? I mean, co-founder of ISBA, working at WorkSmart. You're influential in a golf simulator there, I hear. Some things. And really just kind of everything.
We do have a new golf simulator.
Great. So just walk through your story there.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. I've been with WorkSmart over 3 years. In those 3 years, again, have been building relationships with John as well as yourself, helping those small to medium-sized businesses consolidate employee-related vendors. So I run the small business division at WorkSmart. As you mentioned, co-founder of ISBA. Last year, 2020, it was a wild year for all. Everybody has their stories. And that's kind of when I went to John and said, hey, look, we're a part of these networking groups. We're a part of these, camaraderie. Everybody's, in the same boat trying to help everybody else. But there was just a few things missing with every one of those groups. So that's when the world kind of stopped. I think you remember about March last year, I said, John, if we're going to do this, now's the time. While everybody stopped, let's get to running. So that's when we realized, going through COVID, all of our prospects, clients, friends, family, all had questions and uncertainties. And with me and my role at WorkSmart, I can only help so much. I can help your employee-related vendors, and we can get into that in a little bit. But guess what? I'm not your banker. I'm not your CPA. I'm not the marketing guru, especially if a lot of sales are now transitioning to online sales because of COVID. So me and John got together, and how can we help this population? How can we help that small business? Because, Fortune 500 companies and so on, they have billions of dollars to their bank account, operating cost. These small business owners, some of them are living week to week. How can I make it? Hey, I need a loan, PPP loan, whatever it may be. So that's when we went and took off with ISBA, the Indiana Small Business Association, thinking how can we get a group of vetted vendors that we personally know and trust, and we know that they're going to be able to uphold that same client service perspective to those small business owners, which is when we kind of ran with ISBA, and here we are now today.
You know, what about on the WorkSmart side? How long have you been there, and what do you do for them? You mentioned the small business division.
Absolutely. So WorkSmart, just over 3 years. Absolutely cannot talk highly enough about them. Being a sales rep, I've had different jobs, but absolutely love WorkSmart. And we help with small to medium-sized businesses consolidate their employee-related vendors. What does that mean? So we take over or help assist with the payroll, everything HR, HR functions, handbooks, hiring, firing, whatever it may be. And then kind of the big ticket item within WorkSmart and every small business is health insurance. So from that health insurance perspective, all of our clients, we put them under our umbrella. They now have access to our co-employment pool. So our average client's probably mid-20 employees, low 30s. Our largest client's about 450, and our smallest client's 2.
Yeah.
So a pretty big pool to play in, but everybody has that need of health insurance to help keep employees as well as retain them. So them coming under the WorkSmart umbrella now gives that company buying power of 10,000 employees, as well as mitigating that risk year after year because that health insurance plan is now spread across 10,000 people.
Hey, going back to ISBA, I remember in March of 2020, which you already mentioned, and where there's so many small businesses that we represented, some of which we represent together, you know, some separate. And our discussion at that point in time was, hey, how can we be a bigger resource to these guys and gals and help them get from point A to point B? And whether that was, like you mentioned, with the banker or the accountant or someone in marketing or anything else, we wanted to be able to get outside the world of insurance or health insurance and to get into their world and figure out what they needed and to be able to provide that. So we, you know, kind of hit the ground running with ISBA and Small Business Never Sleeps, and we dove into strategy right away. But the whole entire time, the small business owner was always the key to the puzzle, was always the thing that we focused on the most. So that being said, why is small business so important to you?
Oh, I love it. Small business is important to me for a few reasons. Growing up, had my own lawn care business. That's how I paid my way through college. Started that about 12 years old and finally sold that off when I was about 22, getting out of college. So just working, having my own small business, lots of friends and family members were presidents of their small business. So really kind of just grew up into it. And then working alongside small business owners ever since I've been out of college. It's been a real pleasure. And the pleasure being when you're following up with those clients, and this happens more times than not, which again is exciting for me, is some of their first words are, "I can't believe we went so long without using WorkSmart." It's allowed them to focus on their business. It's allowed them to focus on their sales growth and company growth, and not those back end kind of, you know, you have to deal with it because you have employees and they're not going anywhere and you're not going to get anywhere without them. But we've kind of taken them from working in their business to now working on their business. So that's what I love, being able to help. Yeah, it's a little thing, payroll, HR, hey, employee benefits are great, but being able to see that business owner thrive because he has the support on the back end. And he's in business because, you know, he loves landscaping or he has a passion for whatever that may be. Unless you're WorkSmart PEO, you don't have a passion with dealing with employees. So that's what we are there for.
Yeah. And I think definitely with ISBA and WorkSmart, that helping them find time back to, you know, sleep. And you get to ask about the infamous question, like, what does that small business never sleeps mean to you?
Oh, it means everything. One, because, you know, the business is not going to survive without that president, without that owner. You're kind of the last resort, the end of the road. So people praise you when you're doing well, and you obviously take the big brunt of the force when it's not doing well. But you being that business owner, you always have to be on top of it. People's paychecks, people's mortgages, people's everything is relying on you. And I kind of look at myself as that as well. Yeah, I'm a sales rep. Yeah, I'm co-founder of ISBA, but what do you call it? An entrepreneur, I believe.
Yeah.
I kind of look at myself as an entrepreneur because guess what? If that business owner has questions in regards to my services or whatever I'm speaking with them about to help them, I have a couple landscaping guys. They call me at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night because that's when that's the time they have available that's free. So just knowing that small business owner wears all those hats, being able to help that small business owner is what I bring pride to.
Hey, so you've already mentioned being an entrepreneur. You've been an entrepreneur, working with your own landscaping company, but also running your own book of business at WorkSmart. So how does your perspective change from, being a business owner versus being an employee?
I'm not writing the paychecks, so that's good. I'm receiving the paychecks. It has changed, but not as much as you'd think. Entrepreneur, you're still counted on that book of business. You're still counted on those people you are servicing. You're counted on those clients. I tell all my clients, hey, if something's happening and you need some answers like yesterday, not today, give me a call. I'll get on the phone with who we need to talk to and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not going away. Again, I'm there to help you. I know things arise all the time, especially on, the HR front, or heaven forbid you go to the doctor at night and you have that benefit question. That's kind of what I pride myself on doing. And I see very, very, very similarities when it comes to entrepreneur, other than, writing that paycheck. So
yeah, but you know what? It's so funny because it's like when you are an entrepreneur at WorkSmart Systems, you have the book of business, you have clients that rely on you. It's almost like, it's WorkSmart, but it's more Nathan Maude Inc. It's
absolutely.
You that they're working with and developing relationships with. It's your responsibility, and having a book of business, it's also your paycheck too. So in a way, you are writing your own
absolutely.
check.
Yeah.
Nice. So you've explained a lot how you help people. You love helping people with WorkSmart, with ISBA. What's one of those success stories of you kind of helping one of your clients that really kind of drives you and keeps you going?
Absolutely. So I have a few, but I'll share one of my clients last year, and you can actually find this on my LinkedIn page, but wrote us an email, WorkSmart an email after call it COVID settling down, maybe October, November last year, saying simply, I don't know how I would have survived without you guys. You've made us not only keep our head above water, but flourish. And that's completely a thanks to WorkSmart and our operations team. I cannot speak highly enough of those individuals. They make me look good. So I thank them for that. And it's just so nice being able to work for a company that is able to do that, one, for clients and other human beings, but also upholds what they say they're going to uphold when doing so. So that's one of my big successes is, hey, you got these business owners saying WorkSmart, we couldn't do it without you, which just gives me more drive to share the WorkSmart story with others. Because again, you're not in it alone. You can have a company like ours or a resource like ISBA to help, make those ends meet.
So you work for WorkSmart Systems,
Yep.
It's a PEO. You get the question all the time, like, what's a PEO?
Absolutely. It's a fancy HR acronym, I tell people. PEO does stand for Professional Employer Organization. They've been around, PEO concept, roughly about 32 years. WorkSmart's been in business 23 of those years. But again, what we do is manage one-stop shop, all those vendor-employee relations, and then again, putting time back in that business owner's day. As terms of PEOs go, we are actually a certified PEO through the IRS. Only roughly about 12% of PEOs in the nation are currently certified through the IRS. So that allows us to do more for our clients than just being a traditional PEO. Some of those things mean all of our clients that come on board with us, we now take 100% liability for their federal payroll tax filings. So when good old Uncle Sam says, hey, I need my money, I didn't get paid, that small business owner has nothing to worry about. That's completely on WorkSmart's shoulders.
Right.
So
That's cool.
So being WorkSmart, working with those clients and things like that, what is your role in that? You're probably not on the back end paying the payroll taxes and things like that. So where do you fall in the company?
Yeah, you don't want me doing that. So I am a business development representative. My sole purpose is to bring on new clients, build up territories. We have roughly about 450 clients in the state of Indiana. So growing that number, and again, just managing my territory to the best of my abilities. So I'm sorry, guys. I am that person that sometimes calls you as a cold call trying to set up a meeting, but also lots of networking, getting out in the Indiana community, as well as building relationships with my current clients has really helped my book of business flourish. And again, ISBA has been a big part of that. I'm always in connecting with my clients. how are things going? What do you need? What's your growth like? Which is then why I love being able to utilize ISBA to help them. Hey, we helped you grow on the employee benefits and the back end operations. Where else can I help you grow?
Right.
So with WorkSmart, again, my goal is to help other companies and hopefully bring them on board.
What is your territory?
So pretty much Indianapolis down to Evansville, as well as opening up a new market in Louisville, Kentucky.
Gotcha.
So it's a far drive, but hey, if that's where the business is, that's where we go.
And do you have capabilities outside of Indiana?
Yes. So anybody watching this, business owners, you may know Illinois as well as Ohio and Kentucky. We do business there. I don't personally prospect those territories, but let's say, David had a referral or a client that needed help with some of the services I provide. More than happy to talk to that client and see if we can be an option for them.
Sweet.
Great.
Hey, earlier you mentioned how you guys have so many capabilities, whether it be HR or payroll or benefits or there's so many different things. And one thing that you guys are capable of doing is when you have all these different vendors, you guys can make it easy, consolidate it all into one place. But if I'm a small business owner, how do I even start that process? How do I navigate that?
Absolutely. So it starts by a conversation. Quick, 20-minute phone call. I share about what WorkSmart is, how we're helping our clients, and then it allows me to learn more about that business's internal operations. So consolidating those vendors. So usually walk through, hey, you probably had a payroll person or payroll company, payroll vendor. Either you, that business owner, is wearing that HR hat, trying to navigate that the best you can, or maybe, again, another vendor outside third party to help you with that. And then lastly, vendors for benefits, 401k, short-term and long-term disability. So we're looking at these small businesses saying, you got like 5 to 10 invoices that you're paying these vendors every week. One, how does that process work? How streamlined is it, or is it not? Maybe we can save some time there. And then what's the customer service like? What happens when there is an issue arrive? So kind of just walk through that process, learn their story, learn their operations, and then show them how it would look like if they were to join the WorkSmart plan.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier the big ticket item of health insurance. So, naturally you call Anthem or United Healthcare and put together a group program.
Yep.
But for you guys, it operates a little differently maybe.
Correct.
So can you just talk a little bit more about the health insurance side of things?
Absolutely. So we run one of the largest self-funded plans here in the state of Indiana through Anthem. The nice thing about our plan is it's very, very healthy. So as I said, about 10,000 co-employees. Our low renewal rates are something I love bragging about. 2021 renewal rate for all of our clients is 1.5%. Our 3-year average is 2.5%. So you as that small business owner aren't going to, see sticker shock when renewal comes out and it's a 20 to 30% increase. Just, again, buying power and more bodies involved in that. As well as we're able to give all of our clients 4 plan options, 2 traditional PPO plans, 2 high deductible plans with health savings accounts. So it gives that employer the opportunity to provide more than just a single plan. Maybe, the traditional plan is going to work best for me, but the high deductible is best for you. It allows that employer to give that access to his employees.
And I think that's fantastic. I mean, working in the accounting world, I see the side of the multiple vendors you talk about, right? If you have health insurance changes, you have to relay that to payroll, working with those multiple vendors. But I definitely think in today's workforce, with the changes that are going through, that ability to offer better benefits to your employees, whether it be multiple health insurance plans, a 401k plan that makes sense and is affordable for you, is really great for the small business owners. So
yeah, I'm surprised, especially in the service industry, talking to lots of lawn care companies. They're losing employees, and that employee is taking a pay cut because that company is offering health insurance. So they're like, all right, I just lost my best guy of 10 years. We need to start looking into this on how to retain and keep those employees.
Yeah. If I'm a small business owner, how many employees do I need to have to start a plan, or is there a minimum, a maximum participation?
Yeah, absolutely. So participation guidelines are very simple. 2 employees on the health plan.
Sweet.
Be a 5-man company, you got 2 on the health plan, great. If you're a 20-man company and you only have 5 on the health plan, that works too. We don't need that 50% participation, which is a lot of companies come to us. hey, a broker can't write this. We don't have 50%. We're able to help them out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great. All right, Nathan. So I know you guys in ISBA host the Small Business Night Out, and it serves as happy hour for small business owners. Can you talk more about that and just the recent success of those events?
It is a blast, and if you haven't been, you're missing out.
True.
Yeah, so Indiana Small Business Association has their Small Business Night Out, and again, that's a salute to that small business owner. Hey, we know you. Again, small business never sleeps. You're always on it. It's a couple hour time block during the week where we go out to Bar Louie, have an open bar, appetizers, and it's simply an opportunity to shake hands, kiss babies with like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
So no sales pitch. Again, it's all about building relationships. So that's usually hosted at Bar Louie. We will have our next Small Business Night Out event at Bar Louie in Carmel, November 10th. All tickets from that event will be going to a local nonprofit to help support them in their role. And again, it's just it's a great night out. Kick your feet up, relax a little bit, make some conversations, build some relationships, and enjoy it all on ISBA's dime.
Yeah, and I know with my experience there, seeing those small business owners, like you said, just kind of kick back and enjoy it and not have to be on 100% of the time like they are. But the networking kind of works naturally anyways, right?
Absolutely.
We're not handing out business cards, but you do get to meet with like-minded people and build that network and,
Absolutely.
and meet other small business owners.
Yeah, and there's no panel discussion. There is no sales that take place. It's truly for that small business owner to have the night off. You know, like you said, have a cocktail, eat some appetizers, hang out with some people that are in the same grind as you are,
Yep.
you know?
Absolutely. It's a good event.
Yeah, sweet.
So one piece of advice other than work with a PEO and join and work with ISBA, what do you think is one piece of advice you'd give to a small business owner?
Learn to delegate. Learn to delegate. Again, I don't know it all, but I've been working hand in hand with business owners for, I don't know, the last 6 years, and just saying, David, you don't want to process that payroll when you go home at 9:00 at night, or you're president of the company. You may not need to be in, the marketing efforts or whatever that may be. And I had to learn at a young age, guess what? I'm not going to know everything, but if I'm weak from a accounting perspective, I'm as strong as the guy next to me, which would be you. So just being able to delegate those things as a small business owner, hey, focus on what you're good at, focus on why you got into that business and what you're passionate about, and then set up rock stars around you to facilitate growing that business forward.
Sure. Hey, Nathan, I'm so used to you sitting across from me, but it's great to have you in the hot seat, learn more about you. Great conversation. Appreciate all the info.
Yeah, we appreciate all the great info, how we can better position you as a resource for small business owners in the great state of Indiana. And thank you again for joining us. Any last words?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure sitting at the far side of the table, a little different. But I really, really enjoyed the conversation today. If anything, you can find me on LinkedIn. Anything more about WorkSmart you'd love to learn about, it's just WorkSmartPEO.com. All of our services are listed there. And then you can also find me on ISBA's website, IndianaSBA.com.
Great, thank you. This has been Small Business Never Sleeps podcast. You can find us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and all your favorite podcast platforms like Spotify, iTunes, Google, and Stitcher.
And not only do we appreciate you joining us in the hot seat, but we appreciate David for coming in here as a guest host. Next time, Nathan and I are going to spend some time walking through the journey of a small business owner's path toward success. Don't forget to keep on grinding because small business never sleeps.